Hello everybody. I'm going to be modeling these binoculars, sort of military style binoculars, pretty standard issue, I think. Not that I know anything about military binoculars or really binoculars in general, but it's a cool thing to model. It's really not hard, and there's not a lot of details, so therefore it might be a reasonable video for people to do if they want to model this for relative beginners like myself. There's some things that I want to change when I do this, and there's also some shortcuts that I took. I'll show you right now. Your eye may not go right to it, but if we look up at the diopter ring here, which is used to make adjustments so that both of your eyes focus, I didn't use a very nice circle when I arrayed this around, and so it looks a little choppy here. These hinges are supposed to attach to these cylinders here, so that you can pull it the body of the binoculars in and out. And really, it just depends how much detail we want to get into, how complex we want to make this. And I'm thinking I'm just going to go with basically the same. All right, so this is roughly what I want to model, and I'll show you. I've got a couple of other images that I'm just going to use to remember what I want to add and roughly where things would be positioned. So what we end up with won't look exactly the same, but could potentially be close to this. From front view, I'm going to start not with a cylinder, but with a circle. All right, circle, and we'll go for 24 vertices and RX90 so we can look straight in. I'm going to push it over to the side. I think we can scale this down a little bit as well. And so we're going to be mirroring this across. Let's go into edit mode and vertices and press B to box select. Let's try grabbing these and going G and pulling them up and seeing if that would roughly give us the shape that we want. Sometimes hard to tell. I'm going to select them all and hit E to extrude. I want to get a better sense of the shape of this thing. It's like that. Well, we're going to try it. I'm going to select that edge and that edge, Shift Alt and click those edges, and I'm going to hit, I think I got to do this in individual origins, E and S, pull it in a bit, E and S, pull it in a bit more, E and S one more time, and then I'm going to go back to median point and individually E and Alt M to merge at center. We'll do that on the other side as well. E and Alt M merge at center. Now let's have a little look at this thing. We'll have to put some edge loops on right off the bat, so let's do that. Let's scale these in the Y. Let's bring them quite close to the end for now, and let's put on a subdivision surface and see what it looks like. We'll go for 2 and we'll hit smoothing. Now, is that the shape I want? Another thing I can do is I can go ahead and I'll set the origin to 3D cursor, and I can mirror this right away and say, hey, does that look anything like binoculars? Let's go to the picture. I'm just wondering if maybe I grabbed an extra vertex and didn't want to. It's a little bit wider here than I had before. So it's just a question of, do I step back or do I just go with that? Well, let's try to go a little bit further. Let's also, I think I'm going to need another edge loop there. Hopefully that doesn't change my smoothing too much. And what we can do is I'll put in another couple of edge loops, scale them in the Y, and I want to make that section that is raised, this section here, and it goes down into the middle area and then it goes down underneath a little bit, or at least it does in my version. So if I was to say do it from there, I'll just select as many of these as I want. I don't want them all. Let's try that. E and Alt S, pull out. I'm holding down Shift so I don't go too quickly. Let's have a little look at that. All right, let's see what it looks like if I sharpen it up now. So bring in 2 more edge loops and I'll scale in the Y. And I don't want them too sharp. Just hoping. Well, I could probably live with that. Are these a little bit short? They need to be a bit longer. I'm going to apply the scale to that. Let's just keep going. I'm going to select Shift Alt and click that edge that goes all the way around, and I'm going to break it off. I'm going to copy it, Shift D, P, to make it a new object. But I'm going to get rid of the mirror. No, not that. Yes, that. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of the mirror. Not that mirror, just the mirror on this object. Do it one at a time. Set the origin to geometry, cursor to selected as well. And I'm going to slide it into the middle so it's exactly the diameter of that. And I guess I better make sure I set origin to geometry, cursor to selected again. I'm going to convert this to Alt-C, convert it to a curve. And I'm going to bring in a UV sphere, and let's make this 12, that might be too much, by 6, and rotate it in the X. And we'll look from the side. Well, let's scale it first. We'll bring it up and work on the top. And we're going to be scaling it some more, but all right, let's go into edit mode and wireframe and vertex. And what I want to do is delete the bottom and delete the back. So I just have that. I'm going to scale that down quite a bit. It's going to come down and it'll be scaled even more, I imagine. Let's look from the top, 7. All right, let's scale that even more. Something like that. We'll start with that. Let's copy that, Shift D, and rotate Z 180 to turn it completely around. And we'll bring it down here. And let's go into edge selection. We can get out of wireframe. I'm going to Shift Alt and click, and Shift Alt and click, and we'll go Control E, bridge edge loops. Now let's have a look. So, okay, now. Okay. Let's put on 1 subdivision surface and smooth. And let's set the origin to geometry. Do I want to be doing that? It's probably not a bad idea. All right, I'm just going to center this up a bit more with the line. And I can move these. I'm going to push that in. And yeah, that's looking all right. So let's go ahead and let's array this in the X. Let's get a decent spacing that I like. Give it, just to increase the count. And there, so there's the array. I'm going to bring it to the top, just above the subdivision surface, which I've got there. All right, and I'm going to add a curve modifier. And for the object, I'm going to choose the curve. All right, those things are really annoying too. Okay, there we go. Okay, well, that was a shame that I had to go to that extent before it would start to work for me. But they're flipped, so let's take them and let's rotate X 180. Let's try that and see where we're at. Okay, I'll bring them in. Sometimes it really does take some manipulations, and it can be very frustrating. And anyways, what I'm going to do is I'll use the X. I just want them on this extra piece that I extruded like that. like that basically. All right, but I am going to push them down a little bit more. Maybe like that. I don't know if it seems like it did anymore. We're also going to add a subdivision surface. Just of one should be enough in smoothing. And I can still position these. And just decide if I like that. That was a lot to get that to work, unfortunately. Okay, I'll leave the subdivision surface. I'm going to go ahead and apply the array and apply the curve modifier, and I got that, and I can now get rid of this, and that just has one, eh? If I did join them, I'd get that. I'd jump up in polys, but I'd get them both. Now the only thing I was wondering is if I want to rotate this ever so slightly, like rotating the Y, you know, like a little bit more like that. All right, well, do I need to make that longer? Yeah, let's go with that. Okay, now let's go in and let's put an edge loop there and without moving anything, and there without moving anything, and they should be at the same positions, I hope. Let's scale this in the Y. Okay, they may not be the same thickness. I'm going to get rid of these edges, I think. Dissolve edges, and then Shift Alt and click those faces, and Shift Alt and click those faces. And let's try E and Alt S, and let's see how nicely it comes out. And we can see it happening over here on this one. I think that's going to be all right. Don't need to be super, super thick. And then we'll go in and we'll sharpen it up. Like that. And like this. All right. I don't want it too sharp. I think that's an improvement though. I'll do the same over on this one. Let's see how I'm liking that so far. Let's save that. Okay. Now, one is the front. So, let's look from the top. So the front is here and the back is there. I think they need to come out from each other. Huh? So select it. They need to come out. I'll put it there for now. And let's start making that middle cylinder. 24 is, I probably don't even need 24. Let's go with 18. Move it into here. Rotate X90. And let's scale Shift Y for now. Move it up. Okay, there's a top-down view. So I'm making this piece here. All right, so there's my front and there's my back. So I'm going to make it come out and I'll do some stuff here in the back. I just want to look one more time. And then the eyepieces. Okay. I may not be able to do too much until I do the eyepieces. So let's go ahead and do one of these ocular lenses. Okay, so we'll put it up around the rounded part. So we'll just go ahead and do that. So let's look from the back. And I'll just go ahead and do it on this side. I'm bringing I guess a cylinder with 18 again. Rotate X90. I'll just scale it in object mode. Okay, let's scale again. Just get the positioning for where we would want this. And where would we want this? Okay, we'll make it bigger though. So let's go into edit mode now. And just start shaping this a little bit better to the way we want it. Let's scale Shift Y. Okay, so we'll have that much space left over. Is that crazy or is that decent? No, that's okay because I got the ring there too. Okay. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to come out to about a point there, and then we're going to start scaling out. So we're going to come out like, I don't know, to about there. I'm going to hit E to extrude, and pull it out, and I'm just going to hit S to scale. Like that. Yeah, maybe I'll scale it out a bit more. And I can shrink the whole thing down a bit. Okay, so we're going to do that. Now, I'm going to need to put on a subdivision surface, of course, but I'm going to need solidify, really. I'm going to try 0.15. Let's put, after that, the subdivision surface of 2 and smooth. Okay, now I might go to 0.2 for this, and I'm going to bring an edge loop down like this. I'll bring one into here as well. And I'm going to want it nice and thick and flat, and I think I'm going to want a shorter piece in there. So let's take the whole thing out. Let's do that kind of thing. Dogs are walking. Let's push that in there. Let's go ahead and apply that, and we can do some work here. Edge loop. Do edge loop there for the moment. For now, we'll start seeing this take shape. Now I want this inner part here, and then the lens itself. And so, what we'll do, it's an inner ring, eh? Let's try GG, edge slide. I'll go a bit more, go up to there maybe. And this ring here, it's not doing anything for me on the inside, so we'll do that. And then with that done, okay, just with that one edge loop there, I think what I'll do is I'll Shift Alt and I'll click all of that stuff, and I'll hit E and S. I'll bring it in. Let's scale Shift Y. E and S, Shift Y. Let's have a look at how we're doing here. Okay, I can work with that. Let's put an edge loop on here. Let's select that. No, you know what? Let's just bring in another edge loop here. So yeah, let's take all these faces here and let's delete them. That's better. And let's grab this edge here. E and S, E and S, E and Alt M, merge at center. That's so much nicer. Why didn't I do that in the first place? I don't know. Okay, so we'll get that kind of a thing, and hopefully, you know. So we'll just tighten this up a little bit more. Is that enough? We want it. I like a little bit of roundness. Okay, so we're starting to get an ocular there. And what we're going to do is we're going to mirror this to the other side for now. So I hope that's central. Is it centered? I don't know if it's perfectly centered or not. Well, it's pretty darn close. Then Shift S cursor to select it. I'm going to use that as my mirror point. Where to go? Oh, I can't see it that way. I'll bring that to the other side. Let's just see if that looks pretty centered. Okay, cool. Well, we'll have to break them out of the mirror soon because of that diopter. I'm going to put it on the right ocular. Now, what else do we need to do for this to give it something? So we're going to put these on it, and there's the diopter ring, and that's like that. I mean, we can do a little bit. I mean, we could come in here and still feel like it's a bit big. Maybe it isn't, but let's look from the top in wireframe, and let's grab all of this, pull it down, and just do the smallest little detail thing here. Control R, put an edge loop, Control B to bevel, and just pull, and then E, and how about Alt S, and push it in, you know, just to give something. And then throw some edge loops here and here. Let's see if that's enough. An impossible detail that will never be seen. And you know what? It's a little bit too narrow, really, on such a small model. So let's make it bigger. Let's go into wireframe and just box select this much and pull it and just give it a little bit more something, you know. And now that I've done that, I can actually come in and I can put an edge loop here, and I can put one here, and that should be good enough. That's all I would do. Okay, I want it to catch a bit of light. All right, it's just something. This is something. In fact, that's likely going to be covered up now that I think about it, isn't it? Darn it, by this ring. But I can move that. In fact, I need more space if I'm going to put that ring. Jeez. Yeah, it's a work in progress. Okay, let's grab all of this. In fact, let's grab all of that. That's better. Yeah, that ring is going to go on there. And wrap around and we'll still be able to see that, I hope. Okay, what's next? Well, we could try putting those things around. All right, we're going to try to do these things. All right, so let's just do that. Let's come in here and let's select this ring. We could select any ring we want. Well, it's easiest when it is on the flat section. So I'm going to put them here, and I might shorten that. We'll see. So I'm going to select that one, yes. I'm going to copy it, Shift D, P, break it out. So what did I just do to it? Hide. There it is. Let's get rid of the mirror. That's the mirror, right? So we got a subdivision surface. Now this is where I may want to keep the subdivision surface. All right. Let me scale this bigger right away, so when I bring that back, I can still see it. For some reason, well, I shouldn't need to. All right, good enough. Okay, let's apply the rotation scale. Let's convert this to a curve. And now I'm going to bring in a plane. Could have done this from a cube, but I'm just more comfortable like this. Scale it down start getting the approximate size of this that I would want. I think they're more of a rectangle than a square. Yeah, they seem a bit more rectangular. All right, well, let's start shaping this. Extrude it up. Not too high, though. Let's scale this in the Y, like that. Scale it in the X, like that. Okay, let's set the origin of geometry on that guy. And let's apply rotation and scale just in case. And let's start arraying this in the X, basically touching like that. I believe they're pretty darn close, sort of touching, or just about touching. So maybe I can try, 1.05. We can change all this. And let us see how she works with the curve. All right, so there's the curve there. And hopefully that's the only curve I've got. You see that symbol? Yeah, so. Okay, so on these, I probably will do some other stuff, like bevel or whatever. Let's get them out. There we go. Okay, don't worry about the discoloration. That's the least of our worries right now. Let's get them in, touch down, and let's increase the count on this. May have to change it ever so slightly because of the bevel, and we got this kind of thing going. So if I do that and I make this 1.03, can I add one more? That's pretty good there. Let's Control N, or I may have to set it and then flip all the polys. Let's try adding a bevel, just slightly. I was thinking like that. Yeah, smoothing me now. What if I do a double one? Smoothing works a little bit better for there. Forgetting about the color for a moment, how does that look? Can I bring down the array? Change the size. Nah. I think I'm going to go with that. So I'll give it a try. I'm going to go ahead and hit apply for the array and for the curve. And now let's come in and Control N, flip the polys. And then I can change the bevel if I want. I'm really done with this curve, so I can get rid of that. And I'm not crazy about the smoothing, but I can do a little bit like that. It should look fine. All right, so those are there. All right. I could mirror these to the other side. Let's select that again. Shift as cursor selected. Let's take these and mirror with the eyedropper. Select that. And we got them on both sides. Okay, does that roughly look like this? And then of course they're white. Top. Now, the only thing I wonder is, maybe they're a little bit longer. Let's scale these in the Y a bit. I'll push them down like that. I don't know that that did much of anything. Yeah, that should be okay. All right, cool. That was easy. Let's move on to the front. You know, it's so much easier to just, I don't know, take this, Shift D, P, and just have something to start with. One. And these guys need to go down in the main circular area. So what I'll do is I'm going to shut off the mirror for now. I'm going to take this. I'm going to hit G. I'm going to scale it. Make it nice and big. Okay. And E to extrude. Come out. And these are going to come out a ways. Scale out. And then straighten out. And we'll think about angling them later, and I can still put those on. So yeah, let's do this. And scale it. Let's just have another look at the picture and see relative to the other ones. Let's try one of these other pictures. That's not going to help. Or that. Okay. Okay. Well, you're gonna just play by ear a little bit, and then hit E. It'll come out like that. Select everything, Control N to flip polys. Let's just take this back in though and push it in more. All right, and the main thing I'm gonna be doing here is there's the mirror there. I'm gonna keep the mirror on. That'll be okay. Is adding the solidify modifier, but I like to put it above there, and we'll make it 0.2, and I am going to apply that, and smoothing will come in the top view and in wireframe. I'm going to box select this. I'm going to pull it in a bit more. And I'll put an edge loop down here. And I know I'm going to put an edge loop here. And we're going to see, are those going right? No, they look a little bit like they're going on the inside. That one did anyhow. Let's go to wireframe. Do it here. Now these also go in. Now you could do all kinds of cool detail with rings and stuff. I'm just gonna do what I did before, pretty much anyhow. Let's turn off what? Yeah, let's turn off subdivision surface for a moment. I've got this. How would it be if I deleted these faces like I did before and I took that? Let's do this. Let's grab that edge and extrude it all the way back. Scale it in a little bit. And that'll give me more of what I had before I deleted all that stuff. And that's fine. You can put an edge loop here and here. Cool, like that. And really, I could take this and I could make these flat. I could just E and S. I'll get it that way, because of that. No, I'm not gonna do it that way. What I'll do instead is I'll select that, Shift S, cursor to selected, and I'll bring in my own did I want a UV sphere maybe? I didn't want that. So what about 18 and 12? Let's give that a try. Flatten it out and scale it. Might be in better shape now. Oh gosh, we're in much better shape now. I don't know. Sometimes I do dumb things. How's that? Look okay to you? Yeah. All right. It's one of those days where I'm doing dumb things. Well, we are going to try something again. I'm going to come in here and I am going to take this edge, Shift D, P to make it a new object. There it is, origin of geometry. I'm going to get rid of the, what did I get rid of? The mirror is what I want to get rid of. So now subdivision surface, that's okay. Curve. And then let's build this thing now. What did I have before? 12 and 6? When I built these things? Could be wrong. Let's give it a try though. Let's rotate X 90. Go to edit mode and scale. Okay, wireframe and vertex and the same routine. Shift D, rotate Z 180. I could have saved one of the other ones to use. You know, if I was really thinking about this. Let's scale all of those down. Let's take that edge, Shift Alt and click that edge, and bridge edge loops. Did I not get rid of the bottom? How could I have not gotten rid of the bottom? Now it's going to be crazy. What am I thinking? Okay. Before I do anything, I'm gonna be angling them down. Let's just make sure that I like the size of that for those. And it is hard to tell. But let's just go with it. All right, so let's look from the side and let's rotate X. I'm going to push it in. Okay. All right, let's give it a try. Let's array this, give it some space. This one's going to go all the way around, or so I say. And let's add a curve modifier and grab that curve. Oh, look, it's playing nice. Pull it in. Let's increase the count. Just like that. Let's give it a subdivision surface of just one is fine and smooth. All right. I think I could live with that. I do. So I'm going to go ahead and hit apply and apply before I lose my mind. Great. Let's get rid of that. Cool. Now, can I just, we got that and that. Can I just join it? And it probably takes on 2 subdivisions. Okay, but for this, I think I will just mirror it. Can I just choose that? Thank you. How's that? I'm not going to worry about angling them yet, or am I? I probably am going to be worrying about that now. Jeez. All right. Well, let's take that. Let's just try it. Okay, let's rotate Z. And that's it. Maybe backs. I don't want to screw around with that. Although, I'm willing to do that. Okay, I don't know that I like that very much. I think that maybe is a little bit too much. Yeah, that looks like too much. That's all I'm doing. All right, that's okay like that. Okay, so nothing is very complex. I'm having a little bit of issue here and there, but it's going all right. All right, let's, assuming that is okay like that, what I think I will do is apply the mirror for these so that I can come in here and do some work on that diopter. Okay, so I'm going to go into edge selection and I'm going to bring in an edge loop right about there and there. And I usually like to do it this way. Actually, maybe that's a bit close. There. That one and that one. And I'm going to Control B, give myself a little bit of a space, not very much. E and Alt S, push it in. I just want to make a region. I did this in the flashlight video, flashlight tutorial. I'm just sharpening up these edges here. All right, so that's a little indent you barely see. I'll come back in here. I'm going to select that edge, Shift D. I'm actually going to pull it over to here right now, right roughly in the middle, and then I'm going to break it apart. And you know, convert it to a curve. Okay, now I'm going to do the little turning things for the diopter, like here. Can't see that, can you? This stuff here, real simple. Let's bring in a plane. Scale it. I wanted to relatively long, not that, relatively long, but quite narrow. Pretty narrow anyhow. Give it some depth. Make sure the polys are all okay. And I think we will bevel. We'll go with 2. I know it's a lot. We're going to be doing a lot, but you know what? You only live once. Oh. Like maybe there and smooth. See how that catches the light. Not super crazy about it yet. All right, well, it's probably about the same. Okay, so let's select it, and you guessed it. Yeah, I think I'm doing it this way. I'm thinking, why aren't I spinning this? I could try spin, but I think I'm just going to do it this way. It's going to be a lot going all the way around. All right, let's give it a try anyhow. Let's pull it down, and let's try apply rotation and scale. Okay, there's my array. That's going to bring it to the top, and let's add a curve modifier, and hopefully that's the only curve. It's looking good, and so let's just bring it in, bam, and let's up the count and look so we can see it. How's the spacing? Can I get one more in there? No. All right, well, let's do this. Oh. So bring it out. That's going to be fine. Okay, I'm going to apply that and apply the curve. let's hide that. Let's get rid of that. We'll bring that back, and I can still edit that. One thing I could do though is I'd like them to go further out towards my indents, so that those indents seem to make sense, as this is like a wheel, and that is the diopter setting that you would turn. Okay, only on one side, so I'm not doing it on the other side. Did I leave myself room? I left myself room there. Cool. All right. I think we're going to work on this in the next video, so I'm just going to add one or two other quick little details. I'll just select that, and all I want to do is put some little, almost like screws. Geez, probably make these 12. Well, let's scale it. I'm in individual origins. Make sure you change back. Rotate X90 and scale it some more. Bring it back. I'll show you what I'm going to do with these. Just little detailed pieces. Nothing much. Zoom in. Barely visible. Okay, so how am I doing this? E and S. E and S. No, I'm not going to do that many times. Let's just merge it. Select that. No, I didn't even need the back, I don't think. Well, unless I come back this way, which I probably should. Select that, and I'm going to bevel. Let's do that, and smooth. From a distance, it should be fine. And just decide where you want these. Put one there, one over on the side. Oh, not fully. No, there we go. Well, that makes it tougher to see. I'll put one down near the bottom here. And it'll just look like those hold this thing on. Maybe I will group these things, join them, and we'll mirror them to the other side. And I'll apply that mirror. And I'll just leave them there. Cool. There we go. All right. That's a really good start, though, so far. Okay, very good start. We definitely got some stuff to do, but we got some stuff done too. So we'll leave it at that.